Yo, welcome back to Just Kicking It. My name is Soy. I'm with the homie
Polo Show.
And we are part of the Lifted Ones Collective, the illest MCs in this motherfucking 403. And yeah, we're here to talk some hip hop. Let's just get right into it. We're going to start with global news as always. And the first topic we have, show, is Snoop Dogg and Eminem. They are in somewhat of a, I don't know if it's a full-on beef right now, but there's definitely some shit cooking in the stove. You know what I'm saying? And so, basically, Snoop Dogg a while back was like commenting on he was talking about Eminem for some reason on the Breakfast Club. And he brought up how M's not in his top 10 and how all that, and which is fine. Like everyone has a different top 10, right? And Snoop's also the older generation, so I'd expect his top 10 to look like that, like the people that raised him, you know? And so that's nothing. But where the spice comes in is when he says at the end, he's like, you know, I could live without all that shit. Referring to M's album, something along those lines. And so Eminem on his recent album addressed it on the track called Zeus, where he said, I had dog backwards or something like that. It was just a shot. It was a shot of just like, hey, I heard what you said and I didn't appreciate it. And so now Snoop is, now M's going on his album thing. He's doing interviews. And it was brought up and he explained exactly how I said it, essentially, of why he dissed Snoop and why he took a shot at Snoop. He's basically saying, hey, we're in the same camp. Like, why are you even, like, all that other stuff is cool. Like, not me not in your top 10, all that. That's fine. But, like, you didn't have to throw me under the bus like that. And so I think it's essentially like it's a kind of justified the reason he dissed him, but then Snoop commented on a post where he basically said, pray I don't respond to this soft ass shit, when he referring to the Eminem bars. And so there's a bit of a beef kind of going on.
Supposed to comment on?
I'm not actually sure. I just remember seeing the headline and reading the actual caption or whatever. And so
fair, yeah.
I kind of just like, what do you think about this, dude? Do you think that this could lead to a beef? Do you think there will be a beef, or do you think, you know, like Dre's gonna be like, hey, like,
I don't know. I feel like there's no way in a million years that Dre's ever gonna stamp Eminem putting out a Snoop Dogg diss record. You know what I mean? Like, vice versa, you know. It would just be bad on Dre and Snoop's friendship if Snoop was to put out an M record, you know. So whatever the fuck is going on, they're gonna have to like figure this out behind closed doors, you know. And then we're gonna see the like, all right, we're cool now, you know. But it's not gonna turn into a M put out a kill shot, Snoop puts out some shit as well, you know. It's like, nah, come on. I don't think it's gonna turn into that. I do feel like definitely when this definitely started with, you know, Snoop saying like, dude's not in his top 5, whatever. I just kind of felt like Snoop did kind of address it. You know, there's kind of a way he addressed it that was kind of like, I could see how M would have taken offense to that. You know what I mean? Like, it kind of, I don't know if he was like, I don't know, he kind of gave him his flowers. He was like, yeah, I know he's been like the, what do you call him? He was like the white miracle rapper or whatever, you know. So even him saying that, you know, even him being cynical like that, you know what I mean? Like, so even he gave him his props, but he was still kind of like, you know, there was a way he addressed it that was like, I can see how someone would watch this and be like, yo, this guy definitely doesn't feel 100% about me, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, to even go on to M like bringing it up in the song, and then him like, I didn't see the interview, but him like addressing it again, basically it's just it is that's how I would feel about it. It's kind of like, yo, we're in the same camp, you know what I mean? Like if you have a problem with me, like there's no point why you going to radio stations talking about it, you know what I mean? Yeah, so I think this should definitely be resolved behind closed doors. If this goes to the next level, it definitely will be because of Snoop. I can't see M being the one that's it, like puts out the first like diss track, or you know what I mean, like just takes it to the next level. But again, I don't know, man. Maybe M wants to smoke. M's been wanting to smoke. Like, like, so yeah, we'll see how this goes.
Yeah. It's definitely a different era because I remember people used to diss M all the time, and he never really gave a. Well, actually, that's not true. I'm pretty sure anytime he's been talked about or dissed by a rapper, he's responded in a rap. But it is interesting. I agree with you. Like, I don't think it's going to go to like this extreme level of like where they can't even be in the same room or something. It's like it's kind of just a miscommunication almost. I feel like it's probably going to be handled over like the phone or something. But hey, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's just, you know, man, it's these MCs are sensitive, bro.
I can see that. But yeah, this definitely started with Snoop addressing the shit the way he did. There's definitely a way he could have, even if he wanted to say like, yo, if I made a list of 100 rappers, Eminem wouldn't be 100. You know what I mean? He would be 101. Even if he was gonna say some shit like that, there's a way he could have addressed it that it wouldn't have had this outcome. You know, so definitely I could have told you it would have ended up this way from the way he had addressed it. Like when I first saw that clip. But yeah, I feel like at the same time, I feel like Snoop has also been on like a run lately. You know, like after he had that he had a versus. Who did he go up against in a versus?
DMX.
Yeah, he had the verses with DMX. Everyone just said like they love Snoop's energy all through. I remember I watched some of it. His energy was great. He had that he hosted the fight or was one of the speakers at the was it the Mike Tyson fight?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, we've just been seeing him like that's why he's I feel like he's popping like a young rapper right now, you know what I mean? Like he just had this run. So obviously I just feel like this is part of a thing, you know, we're seeing him at the interviews, they're trying to ask him some hot topics. So I feel like that might just be a thing. He's just like bringing up Eminem and talking about Eminem because like, you know, that's the current events right now. And it might not be any bad blood. It's just like, you know, I'm just on this run right now. But yeah, I can see that with Snoop. Snoop is definitely on a run right now. And I don't know if he's going to use it to put out music or just continue to. I feel like Snoop is definitely like, he's like a legacy act now. He's definitely like a celebrity. And that's usually how he profits is from his celebrity at this point.
Yeah. I'd actually be really down for a new Snoop album, to be honest. I really liked his last one was really good.
Word. When was that?
Man, that gotta be like, I think that was 2016, I want to say.
Oh,
2017. Yeah. What was it called? It was him on the cover and he was younger. And I was like,
it was
actually.
And there was a street sign, like 187 or something. Yeah. I remember that one. I was like, yo, when was that? That was a while ago. But yeah, that was some gangster shit.
That shit was fire. There's a song on there called Head on a Swivel. It's super hard, but it's like really dark. But yeah, he's still doing that that type of music, which I'm cool with. Like I like that music, especially from Snoop.
Do you remember when he was like fucking gonna be like he said, "Call me Snoop Lion"? And like had dreads, and he put out a reggae album, and he was like, he's no more doing like gangster music. You know what I mean? Like that was a whole thing. That literally was just like one album cycle. and then
he smoked Jamaican weed. And he just changed. He went to Jamaica, smoked all their weed, and he's like, "Yo, just so high, I'm a lion now. Fuck a dog."
We all knew it when he said, "Yo, call me Snoop Lion." Now it's like, "Yo,
I will do that for 2 months."
There's even you may think you smoked the strongest weed, but you have not.
Not until you change.
Was able to find another level.
He literally got so high.
And you don't know.
Yeah, he became reggae. Damn, I'm trying to get that high. That'd be sick. I just come out here with like
dress on. Man.
I'm
It's a
changed.
known fact. Like I remember Wiz Khalifa said that the only person that could smoke him under the table, like out smoke him, was Snoop. And it's a known fact. Like any smoker would tell you, like, yo, if I was to smoke with Snoop, I would definitely tap out. And you know, it's just crazy to think about that. Like for Snoop to have gone somewhere and smoked some shit, you know, with those guys in fucking Jamaica who do nothing but breathe weed, like it's just like, yo, I'm lying, I'm a lion now. Yeah, man, that was crazy. I remember when that was the thing. I honestly thought that was gonna be a life thing, but yeah, that literally was like a one album cycle, and then he was back to being Snoop
Yeah.
Dogg.
Yeah,
It
dude.
was like,
It was so random, but he was pretty cool during that time. I remember he looked so fly. He always came out with like the Rastafari stuff, and like it was
yeah, he had the dreads.
he was cool.
Yeah. I think it's still like a persona of his. Like I think he probably still does like reggae features and shit.
Probably.
But yeah,
He's on
Snoop
there.
also still does features. Like, you know, he's still like an artist. You know, I'm sure like we're gonna get a Snoop Dogg album this year. I think that's gonna happen. Like with everything that's been going on with him.
Yeah.
This is
Maybe
it.
he'll address it. It's possible.
I saw he put out a song. Who put out the song? I don't know whose song it was, but Freddie Gibbs and Snoop Dogg were on the song. And basically he addressed cheating on his wife on that song.
Damn.
That was last year. Man, remember because 6ix9ine basically, I think it was a known fact that Snoop Dogg had hooked up with some like industry hoe. But like 6ix9ine had like basically posted the girl on his page and was like, yo, stop like trolling me, go talk to your wife or something. You know what I mean? Do you remember this? This was like
No, I can't remember that.
like early when they released him, just after like they released him for COVID. And then he just like Snoop was one of the OGs that was like, yo, why are you like posting him, like all these people? And then yeah, he started like coming after them. And yeah, after that he got quiet, like, but then he addressed it in that song. He was like, yo, I should never have done this to my queen. But yeah, that's crazy, man. When I saw it, I was like, damn, 6ix9ine really has no boundaries.
Yeah, dude. Damn. Crazy time.
But yeah,
But yeah, hopefully everything is solved. I'm sure it'll be fine. But yeah, I don't like it's weird seeing them beef. I don't like it. I don't like it.
it's unnecessary, you know, it's unnecessary. But I don't know. I kind of feel like, man, that's kind of like what is like fueling M's music at this point. You know what I mean? It's always like these last like 3, maybe 4 albums. You know what I mean? It's just been like, you know, who's M beefing with? You know what I mean? Like who do you have a problem with now, M? You know, like that's the theme of the album. Like, and
It's just talking
you know,
shit.
who don't you have a problem with that you're going to create a problem with this new album? Like, you know what I mean? Like that's usually what it is.
Word.
But yeah.
Man, I know this isn't on the topic, like this isn't on our list, but I kind of want to talk about it because it just came to my head. What like legacy act do you want to hear an album from? Like who's someone that we haven't heard from in a long time that you want to hear from? I know who I would, but I'm interested to hear yours.
Fuck, man. I know who I would, but I don't know if that dude still makes music.
Who?
The old Kanye. Nah, for real though.
This is the best answer, dude. Legit. Bro, I literally just re-listened to Late Registration and I'm like, this shit is a master. And then I put on College Dropout. I'm like, these are both so good. Like, I can't see how people don't think those are his best projects. Like, or like, I guess the My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is kind of his masterpiece, but I feel like I personally like Late Registration and College Dropout more. But
I think that was also just the height of his career as well, right? Like he was a superstar at that point.
yeah, he was not
like
being
our-
touched by anyone at that point. Mine would be 50 Cent. I want to hear an album from him.
Oh,
Like
really? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I actually,
real,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know,
I agree.
because he put out a song
I
recently.
heard like,
Proper.
what were you gonna say? You put out a song called what?
He put out a song with N NLE Chopper.
Mm,
It was like a really soulful song actually. It was like super sick. And it was just some I just found it on YouTube. It had like 17,000 views. I'm like, why is this fire just here?
like, did he post it? Or was it just some random?
I just
Could have just
found
been
it.
like a mix or something.
Yeah, well, no, because it was like
That's
an
interesting.
original hook and like it was super like I would say it was like, man, I don't know. It was just really different. It wasn't like a normal 50 Cent song. It was more like, I mean, obviously he's talking about money and stuff, but it's more relevant to who he is now, which I think would be really cool to hear from him. Just like his perspective, because I feel like there's a lot of shit. He seems like he's actually like a very lonely person, you know, because he's always like, he literally just said he wished he never had G Unit. And it's like, I'd like for him to address that kind of stuff in the music. I really want to hear what's been going on. Like, I know we always say this about these legacy acts, but it's like, I do want to hear the 444 from 50 Cent of like, because he can really rap, you know, and like, I really want to hear his perspective on like what's been going on, dude. Because it just seems like, I don't know, it's weird. You know what I mean?
I always, I definitely see 50 Cent as like a dude who prides himself on, you know, the short career he had, you know, because in the short career he had, like we always say, like who would really go up against 50 in the verses, right? Like Get Rich or Die Trying alone is pretty hard to go up against. So in the short career he had, you know, he basically and is a rap legend, you know what I mean? And so it is like for him to come back to the game, he risks like putting out some mediocre shit, you know what I mean? And just watering his legacy. I guess that's what it might be. I guess like 50 Cent is a businessman as well, you know. It's just like he's in movies now. He's in all these other things, right? Like it's just like I feel like the bag has to be right for him to come back to music. Like that's what it was with Pop Smoke. I feel like the label reached out to him, said like, "Yo, we want you to executive produce Pop Smoke's album." Like, was 50 Cent executive producing any album that year prior to that? Probably not, you know. But
No.
the money was right. The money was right. They hit him up. Plus, I feel like he probably actually fucked with Pop Smoke stuff as well. Like you definitely heard the
Yeah.
dude and probably heard like the story behind it. But I don't see. I feel like realistically, I don't really see that happening. I was gonna say though, like I don't know if it was like 2015 or something. He put out a tape called like Hustler's Ambition or Animal Ambition. I think that's what it was, and it's like
Yeah,
a
man.
lion on the cover.
Yeah.
It was definitely just like it was definitely just some light stuff, like for sure. It definitely I could tell like this is just like really skeleton songs, really light. But yeah, I remember that was 50 Cent though. That was, you know, we hadn't heard from 50 Cent in a long time. But that was like
Right.
I felt like that was like a recent 50 Cent. I definitely heard that the energy was still there. Like he definitely could still make fire. But yeah, like if you check that out, it was definitely just some light stuff for sure. It was not supposed to be an album.
Man, there was a time in when I think I was in the 11th grade, and he was dropping like a bunch of mixtapes, and I think he just got back together with G Unit, and it was like a bunch of 50 Cent songs were coming out. He was making some really good music then. Like, some of his mixtapes are so good, man. I remember, man, like he was probably my favorite rapper for a really long time because he had so much music. And I was just going back and listening to like all the mixtapes, and I was listening to all the albums on repeat. I even like Curtis a lot, which people seem to not really like, but I actually enjoyed that album. But yeah, dude, I would. You're probably right. I can't see him doing that unless there's some sort of, you know, he is a businessman, right? So he's gonna do it if there's like a reason for him to do it financially, which is unfortunate. I wish it was just like a passion thing, but you know, man's got to eat. But anyways, yeah, that was super off topic.
I think they said recently there was going to be like a G Unit tour or something, but I don't know. Like there was like basically 50 didn't want to do it or something like that. Like, do you remember this?
No,
Basically,
but
they
I would
said,
definitely
like,
put that.
there was definitely You know what I mean? It was definitely a lot of money. Like, you know, whoever it was the promoter or whatever would have paid a lot of money to make that happen, right? And 50 was on some like, nah, fuck
Yeah.
those guys. like
They could do a world
shit.
tour easy.
Yeah, exactly. But it's definitely 50's not gonna let that happen. You know,
Yeah.
and that just goes back. That just goes back to, man. I just feel like he's also petty, man. Like, so I feel like he also likes money.
So
but
petty.
I feel like his pettiness comes before his his attitude, like his motivation to get the money. Like he will put that over
Yeah,
anything.
man.
He's like, oh, we can make $100 million on tour together, or I could keep this beef going till death.
I could
Same
die
with
with this beat.
Same with like the Ja Rule and like 50 Cent
Man.
thing, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
everyone knows like that's definitely it would be like a Gucci and Jeezy type verses, you know, where it would be like it would be epic proportions because we know these guys have a beef that's lasted a long time, you know what I mean? And they definitely exist in the same era, whether 50 wants to admit it or not. Like Ja Rule definitely has enough songs that where they can go back and forth and people would be happy, and it would be a good match. You know what I mean? It would definitely be what people want to see, and he would definitely make a lot of money from Ja Rule and 50 Cent. But again, what did 50 Cent say in response? Like just fucking like a bunch of laughing emojis or something. Like when like when Ja Rule reached out to him, like
Oh man, it would be great to see that. It would. It'd be really good. They need to do that more often in hip hop. They need these older guys need to just what like what Gucci and Jeezy did, just kind of
there's so much pride, man. At the end of the day, I just feel like though, like I saw like some people even said like, man, because if we know like the true nature of the beef, like if we believe like the story, apparently like Jeezy sent some people to go and kill Gucci, you know, but just make it look like it was a robbery, you know. But Gucci was able to, you know, use self-defense because they were trying to rob him and, you know, actually take out the dude. But at the end of the day, like when you really think about what that comes down to, like if someone's tried to send someone on you, there really is no no amount of time can pass where we're gonna dap it up and I'm gonna invite you over to like Thanksgiving dinner. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Let you meet my kids and shit. That's never gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like that'd be so big of me. So I remember just seeing a lot of people like address it afterwards, where it was like, man, there were a lot of beefs in Atlanta because like, you know, you're always taking sides, but now it's like the beef can relax. But at the end of the day, like people know it's not like Jeezy and Gucci are gonna be at a barbershop dapping it up now, you know, but it's kind of like they'll be at the same barbershop and they'll acknowledge each other and they'll just continue doing their thing. You know what I mean? Like there's now that whole like, we can coexist in this hip hop thing that we're in, but you know, it's still not that you still try to kill me, bro.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
so that's kind of how I see it is like, it does take a lot of, it takes a lot of on the artist to do that. But I thought when we saw that happen though, that was really a moment. And I felt like it's almost like this versus thing. It was like destiny. Like this versus thing was created for these two people, these two legacy acts to come together and squash their beef on this huge platform. You know what I mean? And so it'd be dope to see that happen again. Like if 50 could just realize that like him and Ja Rule squashing their beef on verses is bigger than the beef. You know, they'll be doing it for hip hop, but I don't think 50 can do that. 50 does not.
Well, the thing is, I feel like even if they do that, I feel like 50's still gonna be beefing with him. Like even after they squash it, I feel like he'll just bring it back.
Yeah, he'll still be on some. I don't know. I feel like he can still, because I don't remember. I feel like he's been a lot calmer on Instagram. I don't really follow him anymore, but he's been a lot calmer on Instagram. But I remember there was a time when he was just like, even people that he was fucking with, like people, like he would just be a savage, you know? Like, even people that were like on his show and stuff, he's like just making fun of them. Like, yeah, remember what's the name of the girl on Power that's like Tommy's girlfriend? Or I don't know if she's still Tommy, but like in the first couple seasons, you know what I'm talking about though?
No.
Man, she's a baddie. And yeah, I remember he posted her one time, just maybe she like showed up to the red carpet or something looking and there's maybe something with her outfit that could be made fun of, and like he was the one that fucking started the trend. Like he was the one that posted it, like started making fun of her, you know. And it's, I'm like, yo, it's someone on your show, but it's like, you know, it's still all love or whatever, you know. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
that's just like his attitude.
no one's
like,
fake.
so that's what I mean. So I think I know it. Like I feel like even if they squashed the beef and did a versus, yeah, for sure. Next day, like 50 Cent's gonna be back with those memes, and with Ja Rule like just being like, yo, like we not beefing anymore, but low key we are. Yeah,
Forever,
I can see him doing that. But yeah, I feel like it takes a lot. I feel like it takes a lot. Like just bringing up that Jeezy and Gucci thing. I feel like it takes a lot to really actually, like when you actually think of the proportions, like what it took from both those guys to actually like show up and make that happen. Like it's not just a yo, let's just put our beef aside and do it. It really did take a lot to do it. And so you got to commend those guys as well. And so
Absolutely.
yeah, let's hope we can see more of these like legacy acts, put their shit aside and, you know, do it for the culture.
Speaking of legacy acts and beef, Benzino and Royce, Benzino, you know Benzino. If no one's familiar with Benzino, Benzino is a rapper, and he's an older rapper. And back in the day when Eminem was first coming out, Benzino was taking shots at M and hating on him, and they ended up beefing. And M kind of destroyed his career. To be frank, he made sure everything in his power that he could never make music, and he would like it was pretty. Yeah, that's why you don't beef with Shady. But then recently he took shots at him, and then he went after Royce because Royce and Emma go hand in hand. You know, they're like the best friends, whatever. And he was basically saying how he wants to take Royce in a versus battle, and then Royce, being Royce, was non-filtered, and he was basically calling all of his names, and he put up this video of him, like his video, and Benzino was like shirtless in the video, and it was super awkward.
Like Royce put up that video?
Well, he put up a video of like from his music video.
Okay,
so it was like he was making fun of him, and even in the comments, you saw Rihanna like put the hand emoji like over the face.
Oh,
and like
shit.
Joyner Lucas was like commenting, be like, this guy needs to go back to his nursing home, and then like a bunch of people just like laughing. Yeah. But it was just kind of a funny flashback. Like same like these damn hip hop beefs are just never ending. That's what separates hip hop from all these other genres too. Is like it's so like it's so competitive, you know. It's a different competitive than like, you know, like these country acts. I'm sure there is a level of competitiveness, but not like hip hop. Hip hop is based upon you being the best. So it's like when people beef, has a greater impact because, you know, they just keep it longer. But it was cool, and it's nice to see that Rihanna's commenting on like Royce's thing after like the whole Eminem thing where he like that track leaked. So that must mean they're cool. So that's
wait. So what track leaked?
There was back in the day, or not even back in the day, it was like 2-3 months ago, this track leaked of basically from Relapse era where M was talking about how in the Chris Brown and Rihanna beef, he would have took Chris Brown's side, which was super out of pocket. And so that's why he addressed it on Zeus as well, just like apologizing. So she must be like cool with it, whatever. But yeah.
I think Rihanna and M like actually have like a personal relationship, like not like a like dating type thing, but like, you know, they actually like are cool.
Seems like it. They've been on tour and stuff together. You know
exactly. Yeah, so they definitely have had a conversation. Yeah, what do I think about this Benzino dude? I honestly have not heard about this dude before today. It sounds like, you know, dude was just cloud chasing, man. You know, cloud chasing has no age limit, seems. You know what I mean? We all desire some clout.
It's all
so it looks like Mans was just reaching, and Royce and the gang calmly just humbled him.
Yeah. Joyner Lucas is like low key on shady, I swear. It's so
like
funny.
how so? Like what do you mean?
He's just always like he's always on M's corner, I think that's his favorite rapper. So
Oh yeah, I mean, of course. I feel like, man, to me, I definitely knew who like Joyner was with a couple of records and whatnot, but I feel like Joyner was on, like his moment was like Lucky You, right? Like
yeah,
that was the
that
song.
really put him on the spot. Yeah,
Exactly. So that's how I see it, So he'll forever be tied to Eminem in a lot of people's eyes. I feel like that's just him, just showing respect.
Yeah, it's actually such a good song too. That's probably one of
Oh yeah, 100%.
the best M songs to come out in a long time. Just the energy. I go work out to that song, dude. Man,
Crazy track, but yeah, definitely dude was cloud chasing.
yeah. Just an old man.
And yeah,
Nah, shut up.
He probably saw the outcome, like saw all those comments. Yo, Rihanna never comments, So like Rihanna being in the comments like that just lets you know, like, yo, you you reached too far.
Once you got Rihanna commenting a fucking emoji of a guy like going like this, I wish you guys could see me if you're just listening. But it's just like, yeah, that's super funny because she just she's such a fan of Royce. It seems after that remember when he did the BET thing when he was like, "Hi Rihanna, is Nicki with you? I should get binoculars." And yeah. After that, it seems like they were actually like, I don't know. There's just, and then he's always talking about her with like on God's Gift. I think is what's the song title on Book of Ryan. It comes after Caterpillar.
Godspeed.
God, is that what it is? Godspeed. Yeah, and like he addresses, he's like, Rihanna stalker. I'm parked in the DMs.
Oh yeah,
but like, yeah. It's pretty. It's a pretty interesting thing.
But yeah.
Anyways, on to the next topic. We got most anticipated albums of 2021. So I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to drop because it seemed like everyone was going to drop in 2020, and then COVID happened, and all the Black Lives Matter stuff happened, and it just was a really weird time for artists. And so, so I think now a lot of artists are going to be dropping 2021. So who are you most looking forward to from an album or from hearing?
Definitely looking forward to Drake's album. Apparently that was supposed to come out January 1st. Well, then he had like the knee surgery. Academics was the one that gave us this information. So he ended up pushing the date. So we don't have an official date from him, but if it was gonna come out January 1st, then it's ready. So should be anytime soon. Probably before the end of the month, It's looking like it's gonna be a surprise drop. I feel like Drake is that big that he probably would do the most numbers if he did a surprise drop as opposed to letting you guys know, like, hey guys, I'm gonna drop my album on this day. So yeah, I think that's definitely one of the albums I'm looking forward to, because I think we're going to talk about it later on. Like, some people are saying, like, is Drake even relevant? Is Drake even pushing the culture anymore? I feel like this album is going to be that album that, is going to be the answer to that question. You know what I mean? So it's just going to be a very telling album. Yeah, looking forward to that. Looking forward to J. Cole and Kendrick, 100%. I think those are the main guys I'm looking forward to. There's probably a ton of people. Yeah, but those are the main guys, I think. And I think I think Cole said he was gonna drop the Fall Off last year. Mm-hmm. Man, like Cole was supposed to, I remember he said he was gonna drop off like the off-season mixtape.
Yeah, man, I want to hear that.
And then he was gonna do the Fall Off. And then I don't know, he just kept missing the dates for these things. That's all. So I don't know if the Fall Off is still the next project or if he's gonna do some other project. You know what I mean? So I don't know. But I think based on what I know, I think we're gonna get the Fall Off this year. And then yeah, Kendrick, I don't know, man. I don't know, but I just hope we get some new music, right? Like, hopefully we get at least a song from him. Yeah. What about you?
I'm also looking forward to Cole a lot, and everything you said. Obviously, those are the big three. I would like to hear Chance. I'd like to hear him come back with an album. I really want to see him redeem himself. I think that would be really interesting. I would like to hear. I think it's been long enough, and I think I want to hear a Jay-Z album. There's no like word of that at all, but I'm just putting it out there that I would really appreciate that. And then,
Oh yeah, Jay-Z's like, I don't know, man. Like at this point, like Jay-Z doesn't need to drop an album. You know what I mean? Like he really doesn't. You know, so it's just like if we get one, it's just like,
yeah.
But I do feel like one thing I was gonna say is like all of Jay-Z's albums, I think like with that album 444 is like his like 11th number one album, you know. Like that's been a thing for Jay-Z. Like all his albums always debut number one. I think that's something like he holds, like he takes a lot of pride in, is like, you know, having good first week numbers and debuting number one, you know. So I don't think he's gonna, I mean, like, and I'm not saying like Jay-Z has to worry about he's gonna do good numbers all the time, but I think that's another thing like with Jay is like he wants to, like, if he's gonna drop an album, he wants to make sure it's gonna be, you know, it's gonna be an album that performs. It's gonna be an album that's great. People aren't just gonna say like, oh, another like Jay-Z album. You know how people just say that about M, like,
Yeah.
M is the GOAT, but you know sometimes he be dropping and you're like, yay, another M album when we should.
Yeah,
The GOAT has dropped. You know? But I don't know. I feel like that's also in part because M is always dropping. You know, I feel like he needs to separate it as well. You know, he needs to do like a drop of 444 and disappear for 4 years.
Yeah.
But,
I like that.
To each his own.
Someone else I'd be really looking forward to hearing is Tyler, the Creator. I kind of want to hear. I want to hear a new album from him. Definitely want more rapping if possible.
Yeah.
Because he's been spitting in this last year. All his features. I think he only did like a few. I think he did 2 that I remember. Where like I think it was the Freddie Gibbs joint and the West Side Gun, and both those verses were super fire. So I'd really like I would honestly like I could see Tyler, the Creator, on like Derringer beats with his touch as well, like him co-producing. That would be sick.
Man, I remember like Tyler and A$AP Rocky teased a collab tape. Do you remember? Like,
yeah, I'd be down for that too, to be honest.
And again, that never happened. But I think they were on tour together or something. And so they probably did record a couple tracks or something. But yeah, that never came out. Did you see that A$AP is dating Rihanna?
I did, man. I also,
Did we talk about
we
that?
haven't. No. Good for A$AP.
That's good for him, man. Like,
Respect, seriously.
Yeah, like,
I want to just dap him up and be like, "You're the man."
Yeah, that should be topic number 1. Like, that should be dudes fighting in the club over this chick. Here he is, just weasel. We didn't even know, right? And you just got the headline, yo, he's dating. Like, oh shit.
Yeah,
he's been putting in that work. Like,
yeah, dude. It's good for him. But those are actually 2 people I would really like a A$AP Rocky album. I really want I love Testing. I know a lot of people are very indifferent about it. I really like Testing. I've liked actually both of like Long Live A$AP and what's the other one? Whatever. His first album and second album are awesome. Those are both to me amazing. So I'd really like an album from him and Rihanna. I'd like to hear a Rihanna album.
Yeah, man, Rihanna don't need to drop an album. She's like in that Drake category. I mean, she's in that Jay-Z category, you know, where it's like, yeah, she'll be doing us a favor if she drops an album. You know what I mean? Like, she's not an artist that needs to drop an album.
She needs to put out she just needs to put out a summer album, because I feel like every time she puts out like a summer song, it's always like the song of the summer.
And another thing is like her albums like last, like it's not even like on some like, I feel like in rap, you drop an album, it's gonna last like a damn. It's a great album. I feel like mainstream wise, it's gonna last in the public's eye for a year, and then for the fans, it will last for however long, right? But with pop music, well, with Rihanna's music for the most part, like there's still songs from Auntie that get played like in the club and on the radio type thing. You know what I mean? Like it's still like, and that was her last album, right? Auntie. It's just so like her music is just so big. I feel like with an artist like Rihanna, you have to put that. There has to be space between releases. You know what I mean? So yeah, she's gonna drop an album, and then we're not gonna hear from her again for a while. But
man, it's been like 4 years though. I'm like, it's so long. But I guess it's understandable. You're right.
Yeah, man, she's gonna drop, and people are gonna enjoy the fuck out of it. I feel like people are. I feel like she has like a super fan base. You know what I mean? She has a fan base that's a lot like Taylor Swift's fan base, which is like there's the core ones that would just do anything, like they'll do anything she says, and then she's also like this huge like phenomenon globally. So yeah, we're not worried about it. I feel like I'm more if there's one of the two of them that I'm looking more forward to, it's Rihanna's album over A$AP Rocky. I mean, not that I don't know why we're comparing them just because they're dating, but like
I wasn't comparing them. I was just saying both of them are like dating. I was like, I'd like to hear an album from both of them.
I guess maybe we'll hear both, like a feature or something like that from both of them. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, man, shout out to A$AP Rocky, man. Like A$AP at one point was like dating like Lana Del Rey, like he had a thing with her.
Man.
A thing with Iggy Azalea before, like I just feel like that's definitely been something I've always been like, man, like good for you.
Just all of us in the background, like
that's really it, that's definitely, I don't know. I'm not always like 100% about his music, but every time you know what I mean? I've always definitely been like, I feel like that's definitely how I see A$AP Rocky. A$AP Rocky is a brand more so than just the music. There's a lot of people who fuck with A$AP Rocky that don't listen to his music. They know of A$AP Rocky. They know about his fashion and his style. You know what I mean? And so that's how I see it. That's how I see like A$AP Rocky's whole like approach in essence. So I feel like even him being about, dating the baddest chicks is part of his brand. He uses like a model, right? He like models for Vogue and shit. Yeah, man, I think he's just into, just one of those dudes that's just kind of like his aura. But
right.
Yeah, I fuck with it. I fuck with both of them. Yep, I would like new music from both of them. And
any other artists you can think of?
I'm just trying to like think right now. Yeah, I can't, man. Tyler is definitely one. Tyler is definitely for sure. So everyone you mentioned. Yeah. Pusha T, I would love a new Pusha T album. I think he said like he has another album in the works, and it's like completely produced by Kanye and like Pharrell.
What?
And I'm like, yeah, and just that's fucking disgusting.
Yeah. I have an album produced by the best producers. Oh, dude, that's crazy. That'd be amazing. With his level rapping, just over like some beats.
Yeah, man. I was one of those people that was like truly disappointed that Daytona was going to be 7 tracks. When I got the 7 tracks, I was pretty content. But like, I remember when I heard the announcement that the album was going to be 7 tracks, I was like, what? I definitely want more tracks from Push.
Yeah. Yeah. He'll probably, I'm sure that won't happen again.
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. If we're getting beats from both Kanye and Pharrell.
Yeah. Just 6 tracks. What the fuck? I wouldn't mind 10 though. 10's a good number.
6 of the best rap tracks of the year. Like, this album. Yo, he actually almost got a Grammy for that Daytona though. Like he was nominated.
Too bad Cardi B is the best rapper alive.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, okay. On to some other news. Clubhouse. We're just going to discuss whether it's going to be like the new IG. It seems to be popping right now, at least amongst celebrities. And it was very exclusive at first, but now basically it's like people are getting in and they're like recording these conversations. So it's kind of
Now,
the purpose of the app.
when you see a headline like, yo, Meek Mill arguing with a fan on Clubhouse, like it's no longer exclusive. Like,
You're going to argue with everyone. I swear.
you know that dude just like weaseled his way inside, and immediately he got into one of those rooms. He made it clear that he was a fan. Like he was,
Yeah.
yo, guys, I'm excited to be here. Like, yo, who let this fucking dude in here? Be cool.
For real.
But that would be me.
You- Yeah. Who is this? Dude, it's pretty wild. I've seen some like, I don't even know, but that's the thing though. It's like if you can just record it, like what the hell's the point of the app?
I saw like initially like, in fact, it even says in some of the recordings like when like some of the it's because it's usually a screen recording, and
Yeah.
it usually says like on like somewhere on the app like, yo, like it's against the terms and conditions of the app to like record or the app or whatever, you know. But it just seems like it's just become a trend now. So I think that's why it was for a while there. It was private, but I think like I honestly think it started with the academics thing. You know that someone just posted that one and got away with it, and everyone's like, "Oh shit, we can record shit here and get away with it."
It was probably
Crazy.
him. I could see that being like a,
Nah,
I'm gonna get
definitely.
hire people or something.
I feel like definitely like academics always goes live on Twitch, and there are multiple YouTube accounts that literally just exist that repost his live. You know what I mean? So I feel like academics is that popping that I can believe that there was someone in that, even though it was a room of just celebrities, that was such a big fan of academics that they were like, yeah, I gotta record this. It's about to go. This is about to pop off. like this. Because there were a lot of people in that room. Only like 4 people were talking. I think it was like in his zone. It was like him,
Yeah.
Meek, Tory Lanez, and 21. But there were apparently like 400 people in the room. You know, so
What a
everyone was just quiet. You know, just like, yo, shit is going down. Like
Everyone just has tea and they're just sipping on their tea and like just listening. You should have heard what Meek said. I saw the video.
like yeah.
You're not exclusive. But yeah, man. I don't know if it's really gonna take off like that. If it's like if you can just record the conversations and like I don't really understand the app, I guess. Cause like
Yeah, so it's not a video. You just said it was a video. So it's really it's a chat room, and
Yeah.
it's kind of like a forum. So you know how like I can create like a
like a Reddit thing?
like a Reddit. Yeah, I can create like a Reddit and say like this is a Reddit about people who think Ben Affleck was a terrible Batman. I'm sure there is one like that.
Started by Shosh.
Yeah, and yeah, if not, I'll probably start it. And then you know a bunch of people can on Reddit can see that's a conversation, that's a room or whatever, and they can click and enter, and I can start the conversation like, yo, how bad did he look in that costume? And then someone else can be like, yo, I thought he actually looked decent in the costume, you know. So it's and then more people can join in, and so there's more people in the room. So that is taking that idea, except now it's basically like an audio chat room. So there's a bunch of us in the room. Like I can create a room in chat room saying, academics welcome party, and I invite academics, and then a bunch of people who are in the app. So if you go, I guess you can go to the homepage of the app and you can see all the new rooms that are being created, and you're like, oh, there's an academics welcome room. You enter that room, right? So a bunch of people now enter the room that I've created, and everyone can talk. And so I think there's 2 ways you can do it. You can be since you're the one that created the room, you can have it so you can decide who speaks. So not everyone can speak at once. So you can have, I think that's what Nadeska was doing, as crazy as it was. Like she had it so only like Meek and academics were the ones speaking, you know, and like anyone else wanted to come in, like they would have to like let her know, and then she would give them unmute their microphones to let them talk. So that's one way to do it, where you're like the master of the chat. And then I think the usual chats, like I think you talk about one where Joe's just talking to a bunch of girls at the same time, is a chat where you can just enter and anyone can talk. I think the problem with that is just if everyone can talk and you're in a room of 400 people, that can be a bitch, right? So I think but yeah, I think, I don't know. When I think of the idea, it makes a lot of sense. So basically, it's like I will be able to create a chat right now about like, yo, is Chat House the most popping app right now? And you'd be able to enter the chat room. Stefan will be able to enter the chat room. Matt will be able to enter the chat room, and we're just all talking. So you're only seeing like profile pictures. There's not a video. You're only seeing profile pictures, and whenever I talk, my mic will be unmuted, and you'll hear audio come from my profile, right? That's kind of, again, I don't have the app, but I've just from what I'm making of what I'm seeing, I feel like that's how it works. And
It's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, like if that's what it's doing, then I can see the draw to it initially, and I can see why that would be exclusive. Because again, if it's just like all these celebrities on it, like it was in the beginning, or I don't know if that's still how it is, then it really is like a huge networking platform. Because like, you can be a producer on there, and you're like, hey, I have a bunch of trap beats in this vein of Juice World. And if it's just a bunch of celebrities on there, like actual celebrity rappers on there, they come into your chat room, like, yo, play some stuff. And you can just, your whole chat is just you playing beats, right? So you can imagine it's just like, that's a lot of that kind of stuff is happening. Or a lot of these natural things are just, a lot of conversations are happening because all you have to do is just create a room with the topic. And people who are similar minded can hop in and have that conversation with you. So I can see it popping off. But the question is it going to pop off once it's no longer exclusive? Like right now, what's making it so hot is like, yo, it's Meek Mill and academics, or it's, Joe Budden and some Instagram model or something. You know what I mean? Like it's, you know what I mean? It's all these, it's celebrities. It's these, what do you call them?
Influencers?
Yeah, basically. It's the people we want to hear, like, that are doing popping shit on the app. So what I'm saying is like, yeah, once it becomes like released to the public, is it going to have this same effect? Are we still going to give a fuck what Meek Mill is saying on this app, I guess? If like I can enter the room and just be a part of the conversation as well?
Dude, that would be such a disaster. It would just be like Meek Mill, and then just 1,000 people talking.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think even in that situation, I'm almost certain that's what it was. Like Nadeska was able to control, because when I saw this, it was a screenshot recording. You could see like all the other mics were muted and was only select mics that were unmuted. So Nadeska was able to control who was talking, which was kind of crazy to me, because if like she's cool with academics, you'd think she'd have put an end to that sooner or something. You know what I mean? Like, damn, they were ganging up on him. Tori like literally entered the room like halfway through and was like, yo, Ak, you almost got me arrested, like literally just entered the conversation and just like spice it up. So I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna pop off like once other people can get in, because I think right now it's definitely hot because there's other people in it. And I saw like Russ tweeted something saying like basically there's a lot of these guys, and even academics like reposted it, saying there's a lot of these guys that are hopping on this app, that you guys are huge influencers, right? And you're hopping on this app and giving this app moments, all these things you're talking about that are going viral, like all these you're giving this app moments, and you guys not having any kind of deal with the app, you're giving them this exclusivity. You know what I mean? So literally this app is just by the day, because of all this exclusive shit going on, all these celebrities on it, by the day is becoming more valuable. And it's just going to reach a point where they can sell it for billions to, one of these guys, whether it's Facebook or Twitter or whatever, and be done with it. And Nak is just saying like, you guys are making this app more valuable, but you don't have any like stake in it, no equity in it, Right. So that's why he said like, I just came out one day, it was like the biggest day, and I left, because it's like, I can't keep giving my brand to that app. You know what I mean? Like if those guys hit me up and say, yo, you guys I'm going to get 5% when they sell, then yeah, shit, I'll be in that app every day. That's what Ak was saying. But yeah, so I think that's the issue right now. It's kind of like, are these celebrities, so I guess another side of the question, are these celebrities playing themselves by being in this app?
I guess if you put it that way. I never even thought about it like that, but that's a good point. Yeah, it's the same guys that are talking about like building brands and stuff, and then they're just like hopping on trends. I don't know, man. I feel like I do think there has to be like like look at Kendrick Lamar. Like you're never going to hear something bad on his name. You might have people have a different opinion on his albums, but you're not going to say anything bad about the person because you really don't know Kendrick Lamar. Like, you know, Drake puts all his stuff out, and so he's kind of giving people the opportunity to just like hate on him for who he is. That's why when Pusha T dissed him for The Kid, it's like, it's weird because Drake is the guy who tells you everything. And so that's why people were like, what the heck? And so I feel like having an app where it kind of takes away that mystique of being like a celebrity does hurt the artist. Like 21 Savage comes on here and he's like, you know, he if you didn't know him, I didn't really know him like that. It seems like, okay, this guy kills people. This guy.
Yeah, no, exactly. No, yeah, I know what you mean.
And then you hear him on the chat house and he's like, wow, he's actually like really like respectful. And he's talking about how he doesn't do those things. And like, it takes away that mystique. Now I look at 21 Savage, I'm like, what am I afraid of? You know what I mean? Like,
you look at him and you can see how like him and J. Cole were able to actually have a conversation and sit down together. You know what I mean? They're probably more like-minded than you can see. I think it's that raw like Atlanta accent that he has, right? And the way he talks, his drawl, you know, that make you look at this dude and be like, yo, this guy doesn't know anything but the streets, you know, like, but.
Well, I never thought he was, I definitely knew he was like a little smarter just because like to even get to the level he's at, you got to be like you have to have some sort of a semblance of, you know what you're doing. But like, I don't know. It was more like the content of his music I was referring to, like that really hard, like gangster rap, you know, like talking about killing people and all that.
Talking about knifing people specifically. That was what got me into his music. Well, that's not why I got into his music. I'm not crazy, but that was
finally someone I can relate to.
That's what I noticed on the first couple of takes. Like I think his like independent label was called Slaughter Gang. You know, that was his whole thing. He had the knife tattoo. He still has the knife tattoo like right in between his eyes. You know, so that was his whole thing, was like, yo, knifing people and shit. And so I was like, damn, that's, you know, everyone's rapping about killing people, but no one's rapping about knifing people. You know?
That's so specific. That's such an evil way to kill someone.
Yeah.
At least you shoot someone. You're not like, you know, it's one. When you knife someone, you really got to kill them. You know? You're
really a murderer.
You're like a full-on crazy person if you use a knife.
I'm trying to say, you're really a murderer. Like, you could say it was an accident if it was a gun or something, but like, yo, if you stab someone to death, like, yeah.
Yeah, there's like 30 knife wounds. Like, bro, he died after 3. Like, chill.
Yo, but those are real. Like, you always see those incidents like in like real like crime stories and shit where it's like, you know, like 33 hammer blows to the head or something, or like, you know what I mean? Like just an unreasonable amount. And it's usually like a lover's spat. Like that's how you know it was like, there was something more behind it. It wasn't just someone like coming in like kill this person. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, like, but still, like, fuck. Man, I literally went down this rabbit hole like yesterday where I was like looking up like convicted people that are like, they're like life sentencing hearings, and then they describe what the person's doing. And I can only get through 2 people or like they describe what the person did to get there because they were so dark, dude. It was like, I'm like, I can't believe someone would do this. Like someone like
fucked up shit. Yeah.
Dude, I don't even want to describe it because it's so.
Yeah, no, man. I know. I think there was a documentary on Netflix where it's just like retired like investigators talking about like their most like troubled cases, like the cases that kept them up at night and shit. And yeah, like so definitely you see some of them where it's like I think the same thing. Like there was like a whole season I couldn't watch like a couple episodes because it's like it was just so fucked up. It's like, man, there's so much evil in this world. I can't keep watching this.
It's so messed up. No, for real. It's literally like, how can someone do something so vile? But how did we even get here?
Yeah, I forget as well.
I don't want to keep talking about this.
We're talking about someone getting stabbed. We're talking about 21 Savage. You're right. 21 Savage. 21 Savage on Clubhouse. And how
Look at what his music does to
really that dude. He's not really that dude, apparently.
No, man. He seems like a gentleman, to be honest, like that.
He seems like a what? Like a gentleman? Yeah, no, 100%. I feel that as well. He said something in an interview, like when his album dropped. I saw a clip where he was just kind of like, he expects people to treat him kind of like Denzel Washington. You know, he wants
It's
people.
dope as fuck.
Basically, they use that analogy just to be like, people still kind of see him as a rapper, you know, like he's still this street dude. Well, not a rapper, but he's still this street dude. He's still this criminal that just has some money now. But it's kind of like, no, I'm not. Like, I rap now. I mean, I rap about that shit, but like I'm living an actual like regular life, you know. But I actually successfully made it from rapping, you know. So when you see me, treat me like another, you know, a successful black man. Like treat me like that made it in entertainment. You know what I mean? So that was a valid point he made, because a lot of people, and it's kind of what we're talking about right now. You know, a lot of people just will perceive him to just be like, oh, this street rapper, you know, and that's probably even how like they'll approach conversation with him. You know, they don't really see him as this someone that actually made it and is on an, you know, like is an intellectual, basically. You know what I mean? So yeah, just bringing that up, seeing that side of 21 Savage on the app.
So maybe it does benefit some people. Like maybe that is a good way to, because it's nice to know that it's not, obviously I didn't think he was actually doing that stuff, but it's nice to just,
anymore. Like, I don't know, man. I think there was a time, man. I think like 21 Savage like posted like a picture of him, like he was like 14 years old and like he's holding like a whole, like a huge stack of money. You know what I mean? Like, so, you know, I believe he was living that life, man. Like
he's just rapping.
I believe the Slaughter Gang was not a label. It was not a label at first.
Lifestyle. All nice exclusively.
He has a bar on his first on the project with Metro. What's it called? What's the name of this project that just dropped? Savage Mode, the first Savage Mode.
Yeah.
Where he says, "Yo, I ain't taking no advance, so you know that split was real." You know, and that just lets me know like he's about his, you know, basically that project, Savage Mode, was actually released independently. And this Savage Mode 2 is actually like the album version. So kind of like Detroit 2, where the first version was a mixtape. But yeah, so he actually was an independent, like for the time that we, like when I was listening to 21 Savage, I heard like his first mixtape, which I think was called Slaughter Gang. I heard like 2 mixtapes before I heard Savage Mode, and everything I heard from him, like he was all independent. And it wasn't until he signed a deal and put out Bank Account, like that's when like everyone like started, like he became mainstream. But basically what he said, even with that bar, what he's saying is like when he signed his deal, he didn't take any money from the label. You know, he said, I didn't take any advance. So like the split he has is probably like some really great shit. It's not industry standard.
Right.
But yeah, I just see like this, we went into like a different conversation here, but I also see 21 Savage as an intellectual, you know, not just because of this. Like I've definitely seen it in different things before. I've seen interviews of him before. And like, again, like it's these little things, like people wouldn't even know like 21 had a bar about his label deal in his music, you know, but because it's tucked in there. But I've always seen that. And yeah, it's crazy now that there's Chat House, so we can see these celebrities' real personalities. But I don't know. Another thing I was gonna say is like now that this thing is being recorded, I don't know if it's gonna be their real personalities anymore, right? Like
I know they're gonna be back to the
people are gonna be moving like you're gonna be moving like, yo, this shit's being recorded.
Yeah, watch what you say. Now it lost the mystique because it could have been like word of mouth. You know, that would have been way cooler if like, yo, they might just did this.
And that's what it was. You would see like. I would see clips of like on Joe Budden podcast where he's like, yo, this week on Clubhouse, they were talking about this. And, you know, it was just kind of like, I couldn't even make out what Clubhouse was. And, you know, I was like, what is this thing? And I was going to even say, man, that thing, the other week we were talking about how Meek said he wants to start a platform where he would own the music platform with like Lil Durk and Lil Baby. I'm almost certain that was just like a Clubhouse thing. Like, you know, Meek, all you had to do was create a Clubhouse room saying like, who wants to start their own music platform?
Investors?
Yeah, Lil Baby and Lil Durk hop in like, yo, what you talking about? You know, and they probably didn't even have the exchange a word before like Meek made that tweet like, yo, Lil Durk and Lil Baby investing in in this music platform with me. Nah, I'm fucking trolling Meek, but they probably did have a conversation.
Yeah.
I don't know where.
He had to throw a shot at me. Just, oh, that's funny, man. That probably, but that's funny that because you say it like that, but it's like that sounds like a reality of like something he might do. Like,
I mean, I do
gonna
believe that that's how that came to fruition. Like,
Yeah.
that's definitely because I don't see them not in COVID time. Like, I don't see like they're not going to the same bar and just hanging out and like Lil Baby and Lil Durk are just like, oh hey me.
Right.
So yeah,
But yeah.
I see the power. I see the power of it. But I guess the real question is like, once it becomes available to the public, is it going to be like the next Instagram, or is it just popping in our eyes right now because there's just a bunch of celebrities on it? You know.
That is the question. Word.
But
Okay.
if you are the person that owns it and you are trying to sell, you don't need to answer that question.
Yes, sell.
You just need to sell it while it's popping. Like,
Yeah, exactly. For the last topic we got here, it has to do with Young Thug. So we actually recently talked about him. He had comments about Andre 3000. He said he's never listened to Andre 3000, which is highly unlikely because Hey Y'all was the biggest record of all time. So it's like, come on, dude. Everyone knows that verse. But he also just had some comments about like a versus battle with him. He's essentially saying no one wants to smoke. He has like he'll destroy anyone. And then can you elaborate on what happened with Jay and Lil Wayne?
yeah. So again, I haven't seen the full clip either. You know, so we're speculating here, and we're speculating out of context. But I saw this headline basically saying, "Oh, he has something interesting to say about Jay-Z and Lil Wayne." And I watched a bit of the clip from the Joe Budden podcast where they were saying like he did retract what he was saying, but he was just saying like who can really go up against him, against like, you know, he has like 30 to 50 songs and, you know, are untouchable. And I'm sure the person interviewing him was like, yo, what about like Lil Wayne or Jay-Z? You know, and, you know, he just reiterated what he said, you know, and it sounds like he quickly backtracked that. But I don't know. I think even I did a poll on the blog and it was like definitely like over 90% people like, nah. Like, I think the question was like, yo, is Thug undefeatable in a versus? And like even people were like, no. So I think, I don't know where it's good to have that kind of, that delusion, I guess, you know, that you're that fire, but it's also unhealthy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think he meant like, I saw like a clip of the video. And I don't think he meant like he went and sat down in that chair that day and said like, yo, Lil Wayne, Jay-Z, they can't take me in a versus. Like, no, I think he was just talking his shit. He's like, who can take me in a versus? Someone probably threw some names out there and he was quick to be like, fuck those guys. Like, you know, but I don't think he, it sounds like he retracted it quickly. But I think, again, it's not even like Jay-Z. I think it's just a different, when I even think about it, when I really think about it, we're of a different era of people who listen to rap music. Like, I think if the global world audience of hip hop was to watch a versus of Jay-Z versus Young Thug, it might actually be a good battle, you know, it might not be like, I feel like in a lot of hip hop heads, like minds, Jay-Z versus anyone is a complete wipeout, you know, but I think if we are open to the younger generation, the people actually running like rap right now, the people who listen to Lil Baby and Lil Uzi Vert, if we're taking their opinion in it, I think that would actually be an actual battle. You know, same thing with a Lil Wayne and Young Thug. Again, these guys have had crazy long careers, you know, so if I was just to guess, these guys would take Young Thug for sure, but I feel like Yeah, I feel like it would still be a good battle. It would still be a good battle. So I think it's good for Young Thug to be all gung ho, to be like, yo, no one can defeat me, and that's a good attitude to have. But I don't know, man. I think again, we don't have the full context, but I just feel like this kind of seems like a similar pattern to him saying like, yo, I've never heard an Andre 3000 song, when like, yo, that's literally the biggest rap duo of all time. That's literally the biggest rap duo from Atlanta, the city you're from. You know what I mean? So it's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a pattern with Young Thug not to show respect to the OG. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what I know about Young Thug's origin, Young Thug was actually a dude that was doing like, he was more into fashion. I watched an interview once where he said like, yo, he was actually more into fashion than he was into music. And he just really got the opportunity, I guess with Birdman. He was like kind of under Birdman's wing and got all the game from him. And yeah, so he got the opportunity to do the music and just went with the music. And once, people were fucking with the music, he just kept doing it, but it's kind of like Young Thug is not the typical, like, yo, he grew up listening to rap, always desired to be a rapper, and then I finally got my opportunity. It was kind of like, he was just a dude that was, I felt like that's kind of like the story with a lot of the autotune guys. It's kind of like they didn't have and it's not taking anything away from them. I feel like it almost explains why the music is more artistic expression than rapping. You know what I mean? Because they're not coming at it from a perspective of, yo, I have to rap. I want to be a rapper. It's like, I'm making music. That's how they see it. You know what I mean? Like, and people fuck with this shit I'm doing. You know what I mean? It's not true to the tradition, but it's current to the culture right now. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's kind of how I see Thug. He's this person that he's not, how am I trying to word this? He's not someone that grew up like about hip hop, like gung ho, like, yo, hip hop this, like all the latest rap. I can't imagine he was the one that was checking for all the latest rappers and whatnot. But when he got into music, he definitely educated himself. He definitely like, all right, this is what's dope. This is, these are the Lil Wayne is dope. You know what I mean? He definitely got into what was dope and whatnot. And he was able to craft his own unique sound and whatnot and move forward. I just feel like, yeah, there should be some more respect on his part for the OGs that came before him, I feel like there might just be some ignorance. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it might just be like, I feel like if he had the typical, like, he grew up in Atlanta, always wanting to be a rapper and finally got his shot, then he obviously would know who Andre 3000 is, but since this is his origin, I can kind of see how he would never have heard an Andre 3000 song. But it's kind of like, even after the fact, even after you saying that, and I'm sure your homies who are on the sideline of that interview were like, yo, bro, this is Andre 3000. Like, we were just playing the song in the car. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I feel like even after that, like, he still hasn't come out and said like, yo, actually, I actually fuck with Andre 3000. I shouldn't have said that. He hasn't like retracted that in any way. You know what I mean? So I definitely feel like this is definitely like a characteristic of him that has to change. It's like, show some more respect to the OGs. You are dope. You are definitely an OG yourself because you've birthed like a lot of new acts and sounds, but yeah, there needs to be more respect from the OGs from Young Thug, if that's what I'm getting from this.
Word. Yeah, man. I'm totally with you. I feel a similar way. He does. I don't know. It might just be like, he might only listen to his own music. Maybe. I don't know why he would say that he could take anyone on a versus. I don't think a lot of people could really go against Wayne. I think Wayne has a ton of hits. He just has so many.
Yeah. Wayne could literally do like a versus, and it's not a joke, 20 songs that are all hits, that were all like top 10 songs that aren't his songs, like just features he did. You know what I mean? Like, so not to mention his songs. Like, I remember he was on like Chris Brown's like first album. You remember Gimme That?
I can't recall right now.
But yeah, he was on Chris Brown's first album. I can just think of a lot of like moments with a lot of like rappers coming, like not just artists coming out, like a lot of their big moments where Lil Wayne was involved in that moment. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so I just feel like off features alone, he can take people, you know, and that's
Yeah.
not to mention his strong ass catalog.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that has to be the explanation. Like he doesn't really listen to anyone other than himself for him to be saying shit like that. Like this. But yeah, I mean, it's good to have that perception. It's good to have that perception, I guess. You know what I mean? That his music is that great. Again, his music is good. He does have a large audience at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. Like our verses today would pop off if he was to do one with Lil Wayne. It would be a good battle. It wouldn't just be a complete wash. You know what I mean?
No, man. I think it.
You don't think so? You think it'd be every single song Wayne would just fucking.
Yes, he has so many hits, dude. Like
I can list. But again, I'm such a huge Wayne fan. I can list like the ratio of Lil Wayne to Young Thug songs I can list is literally 20-1. Like for every one Young Thug song I can list, I can name 20 Lil Wayne songs. So that's literally how I see it.
It's he has a lot of music though, but it's like he doesn't really even have like that one album that people point to.
I think people like the Jeffrey album.
Yeah, I like that album too.
Yeah, I think that was the one. He's literally wearing a dress on that cover.
That's a really good.
Again, I think that just speaks to like his fashion. Like he's done a lot of daring stuff in fashion, right? No, that is a really good album. I agree. But again, I don't even among his fan base, they wouldn't call that a classic. You know what I mean? Like, and now they wouldn't call that a definitive album for him. Like, I think his fan base is more drawn to his mixtape style music, whatever on that. But yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like I am standing by this statement. If he was to do a battle with Lil Wayne or Jay-Z, it would be a battle. Like it would be a good fight. We'd be happy we paid to go watch it type thing. You know what I mean? As opposed to like a 1 round knockout type thing. You know what I mean? I feel like people just in people's minds, like, and that's like, I definitely feel like there is a new era of the era of hip hop where, you know, that I feel like we're of the era of hip hop that ended with Drake, Kendrick, and Cole. And there's a new era of hip hop and a new audience of fans, a whole school of thought of believe like what a good hip hop record should be that started with Young Thug and onwards. You know what I mean? Like that is or Travis Scott and onwards. You know what I mean? Type thing. And we're shaking our heads, but it's the truth. And it's like if a versus was supposed to happen on the global stage between Lil Wayne or Jay-Z and Young Thug, and again, Jay-Z doesn't even have Instagram, so it's very unlikely. But so Lil Wayne and Young Thug, like I still think, you know, like it would be like people will be happy. You would hear cheers on both sides. It's not gonna be a complete wipeout. You know what I mean? I feel like some people, like again, like into the older heads, like people think like Jay-Z would just play like Song Cry track 1, and that's it. All the comments are just like, "Go home, Young Thug, it's over." Like, yeah.
That's what I would see that. I would be the guy in the comments, be like, "It's time to go home. Pack up your things."
All caps, like, "Go, it's over. We don't want to hear anything from you."
I don't want to hear anything after Song Cry. I just want to hear Song Cry again. No, I don't know.
No, and I'm sure just the way we have that conviction, I'm sure there's a Young Thug, just like a fan of the newer generation out there that is like, yo, man, there's a Young Thug song, again, I don't even know it, but there's a Young Thug song that Young Thug can play that would be like, yo, we don't want to hear anything from Jay-Z, you know what I mean?
Man, I would tell that guy, I would tell him, I would first ask, have you ever heard of Jay-Z? And after they say no, I'm going to say, go listen to Jay-Z's catalog and, you know, see what happens. And then
you were going to say?
I was just saying, then they would change their mind probably.
Fair. Man, I was going to say we should have like a younger rapper on here one of these days. Because I know that there's I know there's rappers in the city who like literally have like tattoos of XXX Tentacion quotes type thing, you know, and they're like younger guys.
Man, that's terrible, man.
And it's, I mean, like, again, man, he was, and this is again, if we're just in the frame of mind of, or of that era that ended with J. Cole. You know what I mean? There's a whole era where I remember when X was coming up, and I remember saying this to people. I felt like if X lived, I felt like he could have been bigger than Drake. I felt like I could feel that was the energy in hip hop. Like was everywhere. Like the Juice World was as big as he was. People said he was an offspring of XXX. You know what I mean? So again, like now we're speaking of him in the past tense, and we can't really feel his presence anymore. But I remember how big he was. You know what I mean? And it felt like there was this entity that was going to be bigger than Drake. You know what I mean? And it was a cult following around this dude that came from SoundCloud and this young ass generation. You know what I mean? So just as we have this conviction saying like, yo, you've never heard of Jay-Z, like I just feel like there's depths to like XXX or like these guys' songs that maybe we're just not hearing. I don't know.
No, I definitely was listening to his music. Like it's not like I don't recognize his skill level. I don't know. I'm just messing around when I say like F those people. I don't really mean that. I'm just trying to make jokes. But it is kind of wild to me. But at the same time, if someone impacted you like that, then, you know,
he had a cult following, man, like for sure. Yeah. He had a huge, I remember like Kendrick Lamar, I don't know if you remember this, Kendrick Lamar like retweeted his like debut album. You remember this?
Oh, I don't like remember.
I think it was called 17.
Yeah.
He literally, I remember he sounded like tweet was like, yo, close your eyes and listen to this music. Like, you know, just some really like, and it was like, there was no reason whatsoever for you to believe that Kendrick was paid to do that. You know what I mean? Like, we're not on the same label. Like, there was no kind of, you hadn't met the dude or anything before.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. We're just going back to it. And I'm just like, I remember I remember it was a thing, like, it was the first time J. Cole met with Adam 22. That was like one of the conversations they had. Like, they talked about X or whatnot. Yeah. I don't know, man. But yeah, that dude was pretty big. And
yeah, he was.
I'm just trying to point out the shift in culture, because it's like, as big as that dude was, I still wasn't fucking with his music. Even when that guy was on the rise, I still was like, nah, the Joey Badass, the J. Cole's, this will prevail. You know what I mean? And as time has come to show, like Juice WRLD, you know, again, he passed as well, but he had a huge career, you know, someone who was, you know, a lot of these dudes who are the offspring of that SoundCloud era with XXX are really what's winning the game right now. You know what I mean? Like that's arguably like XXX sound is from Chief Keef, is from Young Thug. You know what I mean? So right. that is the school that is currently running the game right now. Probably will continue to run the game. So I don't know. I think it's about being more open-minded, man. At the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. And so this is another angle. Maybe Young Thug really has heard like every single Jay-Z and Lil Wayne album there is. Probably the hugest like underground fan, and he truly believes he will wipe them with 30 songs of his.
Man.
You know, maybe that's what it is. Like that's, and yeah. So there's definitely a shift in perspective, or you know, like of what hip hop is.
Damn, that was a good conversation.
Word.
Yeah, that's it for global.
Word. On to our national news here, and I guess we're kind of just keeping in the hip hop vein here. We got our boy here, Drizzy. So, is the Drake era over? Charlemagne the God. I don't know if he said it on the Breakfast Club or on a podcast. I know he has his own podcast now, but anyways, he said it, and then I saw like it was a headline on Complex. Basically, he asks, is the Drake era over? Just basically saying he hasn't heard any like genre shifting music from Drake like he used to. Like Drake used to, definitely with those first couple albums, were definitely dropping. People would be shifting around what they're doing. You know what I mean? Whereas it's not been that case this way. Definitely not with Dark Lane's demo. You know, again, that was the tape. But if we're gonna judge that as the release of of 2020, you know, that definitely was not pushing the culture forward. It really was just what was going on, you know, at the time. It was really just tapping a lot of stuff. And so that's what he brought up is like, you know, I've not heard anything new from Drake that's pushed the genre forward. For the most part, everything we hear from him is like he's riding a wave, you know what I mean? And so he asked, is the Drake era over? So what do you think about that question, man?
Um, well, I'm not surprised it came from Charlemagne, but I don't know. It's hard to tell. I don't think you can say that definitively right now. I definitely saw a little when he was lost to the country guy. We talked about that before, where I was saying basically like this hurt his legacy. You said no, but I think I do think we even touched on it a little earlier, where we were talking about how like this next album is going to be like obviously every release for an artist is important, but this is probably the album that's going to define that question and is going to tell us the answer to that question. If it comes out and it is more of the same of just him like kind of doing everybody else and it doesn't kind of do something new, because I feel like he was dictating the sound of music for a long time, at least the vibe, and like he was running music for a very long time and it was kind of his sound. Obviously there was a lot of subgenres still, but I do think it has to be something new. I would like something that's like more in vein of like, you can really only compare him to himself though. I was going to say something like more like So Far Gone, but at the same time, it's like, it needs to be something that's going to be totally new. Even sound like, even like the production and stuff. So if he does something that's like these beats, you hear the beats, you're like, damn, like these beats are crazy. And like, he's doing things that are proving that he still runs the game, then Charlemagne's wrong. But if he does release this album and it is what I said earlier, more of the same, and it's just him riding trends, then we'll probably start seeing, that'll probably be the end of his reign.
As J. Cole calls it, the fall off.
Yes.
But yeah, you're right. Yeah, I agree with you, man. Like, I think that's how it'll play out as well. Like, man, knowing Drake, just, you know, I feel like we can expect greatness from him. You know, I feel like we should expect the album we're going to expect from him, the latter, where it's an album where he delivers. Because, man, in the end of the day, like, I feel like a lot of the rap verses I've heard from him, like what's the one I heard? The No Ceilings 3 BB King freestyle, or Gold Roses, you know, where he's like, yo, 10 years in and you guys are yet to hear my best verses still, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like the rapping I've heard from him where he's actually rapping is some of the best I've heard from him, you know, ever. So I feel like as a rapper, I know that he's gonna bring it. And man, I just feel like the Toronto scene is literally the go-to scene in hip hop right now. Like, literally, you know what I mean? Like, people are going to Toronto to get beats, you know what I mean? So, if, you know, I feel like Drake was pandering with Dark Lane's demo. You know, he was like, all right, I'm going to do a drill song. I'm going to get Fabio Foreign and another Chicago guy on the song. I'm going to do a Chris Brown song because I know people want to hear me with Chris Brown or whatever. You know, I'm going to do, you know, there was a lot of the sounds. Like, I'm going to do a Playboy Cardi sound, a song, you know what I mean? And that beat was really like a pure born beat, you know, so really hopping on Playboy Cardi sound, you know, and get, you know what I mean? So he was trying to, I think he was going out of his way to be like, all right, let me just give people what's current right now. Let me hop on all these stuff. But I feel like if he was just to be like, yo, I'm only going to work with producers here in Toronto, he's going to come with a new sound. You know what I mean? Because that's what's happening over there. You know what I mean? I just feel like all it's going to take is effort. When I just think about the situation, all it takes is effort, because Drake can rap at a higher level than he's rapped at for his last couple albums. And, you know, we know that he has the production around him, the team, to make, you know, the best quality music, you know. So
Yeah.
it would just be lazy if he was to give us an album that's a Dark Lanes demo too. You know what I mean? You know what I
Right.
mean? Like that would be lazy as fuck. that I don't.
Yeah.
So I know we're not gonna expect that from Drake. You know, I know, like we all know it. Like that's why I said when he dropped Dark Lane's demo that it wasn't a slide to his career, because as a fan, and maybe it wasn't apparent to the rest of the world, but as a fan and just someone who observes like hip hop, we knew what that was. That wasn't an album. You know, that was a mixtape. You know what I mean? There are definitely people who, you know, people in the larger, because hip hop is so much bigger than just like the core hip hop heads, who probably saw that and like, oh, a new Drake album. You know what I mean? Just like there were people who saw Care Package and said, oh, a new Drake album. You know what I mean? So there's definitely people who saw that and saw it as an album and ate it up as an album, and they were like, yo, this was not as good as any Drake album. You know what I mean? And so in their minds, it's tainted Drake, and they probably saw the numbers as well. I'm like, oh, what? Drake number two to some country artist I've never heard of before. Like, damn, it's not looking good. You know, so to some people, they probably perceived it that way. But again, to the Drake fan, we know what that was. That was just a tape. I feel like he was going out of his way to make, I wouldn't say mediocre music, but just music that panders to the fans. Like, it was like, oh, there's a lot of Playboi Carti fans in hip hop. I know they would love if I did a song with Playboi Carti. You know, that was literally like, Playboi Carti just dropped his album now, but like, that's literally like his only feature he did all year. You know what I mean? So I think those are Drake just trying to give the fans what they wanted. But do I think that there's going to be a Playboi Carti feature on Certified Lover Boy? No. You know, not at all. Do I think there's going to be another beat like that, like Pain 1993? I don't think so. Like, because that's just too generic. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. At this point, we just expect so much from Drake. And I just feel like, again, Drake doesn't handle his production, but I expect so much from his team, like Boy Wonder 40, all the fucking guys over there in Toronto that are killing the hip hop game overall, like to fucking leap bounds, you know, for this album. They can't be doing regular shit. So yeah, and in conclusion, I think that we should expect nothing but greatness from Drake, man, because he's given us that, you know, all through his career. I think the rapping is going to be the best we've ever gotten from him, and I think the production is going to be spectacular, you know. And I think, yeah, I think it is. I think it's no doubt that when he drops, it's going to impact the game. The question is like, to what scale, to what magnitude? You know what I mean? Because that's really what's gonna be like. Oh, Drake is here to stay. Drake's gonna do another 10 years easy, as opposed to, depending on the magnitude, we're gonna be like, oh, I don't know, man. Probably can do another two more of these kind of albums, and then we're good. You know what I mean? So to answer the question, I think that the Drake era is not over. You know, that's kind of fucking crazy to say. I can see how, you know, from someone who isn't a Drake fan or someone who doesn't have their pulse on everything, can look at the situation and be like, yo, Drake dropped the number 2 album this year. You know what I mean? There wasn't really a lot of music that he dropped that we can say shifted the genre. So I can see how, from that perspective, you can be like, yo, Drake's over. But
Right.
I don't believe Drake's over.
Word. Yeah.
Yeah. So that concludes our national.
Okay. So for local news, we have a question that we thought of, and I'll direct it at you, Show. The question is, what is the worst Tinder experience you've ever had?
Oh, man, I don't. I can't even really. I honestly, I don't have any like Tinder experience that ended up with me like getting a girlfriend. You know what I mean? Like meeting a girl I could date. You know, so I guess they're all not good experiences. You know what I mean? It always ends like weird. But so what is this? The weirdest or the worst?
I guess either or, because yeah.
I would say there was a girl one time, when I was at the university, my first day at the university, I was staying at home, and I had a couple of girls. I had this one friend who wasn't even, man, my life was a mess then. But anyways, I had this one friend who he didn't go to the university, but I used to just link up with him. And, you know, I think one Friday he was just like, yo, I know a bunch of girls that are down to chill. Can we bring them to your place? And I never do that, you know, never have like just a bunch of girls over or whatever. But I'm like, yeah, sure. And so they come, and I don't know, maybe it's like not even like 9, 10. It's not even that late. But they arrive and they're already like pretty drunk. You know what I mean? It's actually the homie. All right, man, I remember what I was doing. I was running a business at the time where I had a minivan and I was doing like delivery for like a lot of pizza places.
Okay.
And this dude was my business partner, and so he didn't have a car. So anytime like I wasn't doing deliveries, like he would use my car, and he would do deliveries. So yeah, he had the car that evening, and he texted me like, "Yo, I'm bringing your car back, but I know a bunch of girls that are down to chill. I'm gonna be picking them up." And I was like, "All right, cool, bring them." So he comes through. These girls are drunk as fuck, and they're just making a bunch of noise, you know. And I'm like, "Yo, I can't have that over here." So I'm like, "Yo, we have to go or whatever." But at the same time, I'm on Tinder, right? And then I'm texting this one Tinder girl, and she's like, she's at the den at the UFC, which is like the bar over there. So she's like, yeah, just come through. Like I've been texting her for a while, and it definitely just came down to like, yo, we just need to meet. And so she was like, yo, just come through. So I knew like, all right, I knew for sure that like if I met with this girl, like it would turn into something, you know what I mean? Like this, because we just been talking for so long. It was like that was the next stage, and that just is. I guess why I'm bringing up this other fact of the night is because this was what was going on that night. It's like, yo, I'm entertaining these drunk girls with my homeboy, and then I get this text. I'm not even actually texting this girl. It's just like, well, the text has been going on from a couple of days before, and I just get this like, yo, come through text. You know, I'm at the den, and now it's like, yo, am I gonna chill with these girls here and I have to go to the den? Anyways, me and the homie end up driving these girls all the way to the UFC, like a 40-minute drive. We meet up with that girl at the den. I'm down. Anyways, it's a done deal. Like we're hooking, we're dancing. She says like, oh, let's leave. Anyway, so the issue now is like now I have all these drunk girls that I'm responsible for because we drove them here. But I gotta take this one girl back because she's down to go. Like she doesn't even have a ride. She said like her brother dropped her off to come just club. So like she's just down to come back. So I'm just like, all right, like anyways. Long story short, I end up all of us just end up getting in the car, going back to my house, and then yeah, those girls are just being too loud and shit, like outside before we even get in. Neighbors call the cops, basically, and yeah, I had to just tell them. I had to just tell my homie to just like tell them to go. Anyways, that night ended probably at like 5 a.m. Man, like that was a whole night of just shenanigans. I did end up meeting with that girl later on, but yeah, that was a bad date because I could have gone late, but I didn't because of all the shit that was going down. That was, you know what I mean? Like that was just like, what the hell? But yeah, I did end up meeting with that girl later on. But yeah, that was not a good night for me. So it was not more so the Tinder girl that made it bad. It was more so the other girls that made it bad. Just the girls that were just drunk. And then my homeboy, who I won't mention because we did have a falling out for a very similar situation. But yeah, fuck. Yeah, man, that was a weird situation, man. That was a weird time in my life.
Yeah, you look so distraught.
I mean, it's just funny. Like, it's just funny thinking about it, man. Because I just remember, like, I just remember making such bad decisions. Then, like, why was I rolling around with these drunk girls? Like, you know, they were literally just like,
Did you just take that responsibility?
like, you know, like, why was I being so reckless? Then, like, you know,
You're much nicer than me, man. I'd be like, find a way home.
like, right, right. That's where my mind was at, you know, for real. But like, yeah, no. I think also it was like the other girl, the new girl had like seen what was going on. So it would have been if I had just come, it's like, all right, everything's taken care of, but like, we can go now. She would have known something.
Yeah, so
But yeah, that was that situation. Yeah, I don't do fuckery shit like that anymore. Yeah, what about you?
man, I was living in Arkansas and I was on Tinder a lot, and I think I just broke up with my girl, or it might have been a little bit after. And yeah, I was just on Tinder all the time, and then I matched with this one girl, and she was really, really pretty in her photos. Like, she was super, super pretty. Like, we were having really great conversations, but the issue was she's like 3 hours away, or like she's super far away, right? So like I had to drive to her university, and I was like, I set up this date. I'm like, yeah, I'll stay at your dorm, whatever. So I'm like, okay, dope. Like I'm just gonna go kick it with this girl for a day and then come home and then off to my merry way. Like, I was in that phase of my life where I was just like, I had no feelings. So that's how I was living. And then I drove there, and I got there, and I don't want to come off as a jerk, but I am going to right now. She was not exactly what she portrayed in her photos, to say the least. Not even close.
Yeah.
So then I get there and I'm like, oh shit, but where can I go? I can't leave because it's like midnight. I just drove 3 hours to get there. So I'm like, shit, I guess I'm staying here. And bro, I got in there and we started like making out, whatever. Man, her breath was so bad. It was the worst. It was so disgusting, man. And I was like, I was literally like, at one point, I'm just like, I had gum. And I'm like, yo, do you want some gum? Like, I have some gum. And she's like, no. And I was like, please. Because I'm like, I'm already here. I'm like, fuck it. And then she told me, she's like, she wanted to have like a relationship and stuff. And I like barely know this chick. And it was like, yo, I'm staying at your dorm like tonight. I drove 3 hours to get here. And she's talking about like future plans. I'm like, nah. So I ended up just like sleeping at her crib. And then I left home, and I'm not gonna lie, I blocked her because I was like, I just was so upset. But I deserve it for the actions I took, because they were very like selfish actions, and I deserve that to happen. It was a good lesson.
Yeah. I definitely been on a Tinder date where I met a girl that she was not anything like her pictures. You know, so I've been there, man. But yeah, the bad breath is just like, it just makes that 3D, you know, it was already bad enough.
It was so bad, man. It was like I was making out with like, I don't even know, a pile of garbage or something. Like, it was so gross. Yeah. I'll never forget that. Unfortunately, I'll never forget that. But yeah, so I'm a lot more hesitant. I'm never going to drive 3 hours for anything in my life again.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I once had a homie that definitely was about the Tinder grind back in the day, and yeah, man, sometimes I would text him like, yo, what you up to this weekend? He'd be like, yo, man, I'm just preparing. I got to do like a 4-hour drive tomorrow. It's got a new match. You know, like, and my response would just be like, "I respect G."
You really, that's such a long time. Literally have to prepare for a date. Like, I gotta sleep in. Like, I got a really long drive. I gotta go to fucking Vancouver.
No, for real, bro. It's actually like I think it was actually like one of those smaller cities, like between like it was to the west, so like definitely like
That's
Golden
too
or
risky,
something.
man.
But I'm sure it was a baddie, man. I'm sure you weighed the options.
It was, yeah, he's like, go, not go. Yeah, I'm going. Like, it probably was like a 2-second process.
Sometimes it's like usually like it's like your situation. Whenever you got to drive really far out and the girl knows, you'll be like you can actually stay the night if you're coming, right? And then that's how you know it's like all right, there might be something to gain from this this trip. I think that's where he was at. Like, yeah, not just
Bro.
fucking going 4 hours to just like yo, because some girls will do that, man. Like, yo, I'm 4 hours away. Like, yo, let's just come out. Like, let's just grab coffee. You know, let's see where it goes. And I'm like, I'm not coming 4 hours out for coffee. And you're just gonna walk back to your house.
I gotta drive home? No. The fuck? Can I stay? Dude, you know what the worst part is? I fucking FaceTimed this girl before I went. And she looked fine in the FaceTime too, man. But then I get there and it's like,
What the fuck? No, that's kind of on you then, bro. You could have done a better inspection.
fuck? Dude, yeah, I was such a dumbass.
I don't
man.
know
I
what
probably
the fuck, like what was she doing to make you like? Was she just like literally looking at you from the side?
It must have been she had a cap on or something. I don't know, man. It was like
Shit.
it was the angles, I guess.
Captain a mask, coronavirus mask.
Dude, some of these girls look so beautiful with the mask on. I have to. We can't have this conversation. It's too much. It's too mean.
Oh my god. Got put the mask on. Oh. No, man, but that is pretty fucking crazy though.
Yeah, dude. It was wild. Yeah, dude. I've only had a chick drive out for me once. Yeah, she was pretty cool. I don't want to get into detail because she probably listens to this. So she's always reposting. Yeah. So I gotta chill. But
yeah. But yeah, I don't know. What was I? I was just gonna say something. Yeah, something related to the girls who don't look anything like their pictures, man. Man, I had to be put on game, man, because there was this one girl when I was at the university that I didn't know her, but I knew her sister. Like her sister was in my class or something, and then I knew her, like her older sister, and her older sister was just a known baddie on Instagram. You know, I used to follow her, and I used to be like, damn. And I would just tell my brother, like, yo, man, you know this chick? And he was like, bro, that chick doesn't look like that, you know? And he had to really like put me on game onto what they were doing. And then one day I actually like met the girl, and I was like, oh shit, you know? And I don't know, like you literally like, if I could, it's man, it's like night and day. I don't know. It's like it's not even it's not no man. It's not even like a filter, nah, bro. Like she literally was like, it's literally like I don't know. I don't even want to be an asshole about it, but it was like she was able to gain like lose weight with the pictures. Like so, I think like it's not just a filter. Like she has like some kind of like editing suite like app. You know what I mean? Like it's not like a. That's what you would think it is. That's why, because that was what I used to say when I would show my bro the pictures, and he'd be like, "Oh," and I'd be like, "Oh man, she must look like look at this," and she'd be like, "Nah, bro, like that's not right." And when I was like, "Oh no way, I didn't know," but yeah, man, that's how it be these days, man. That's how it be. So that's probably I don't. Well, that's why like I don't know what wizardry this girl did where she got you on FaceTime.
Dude, I don't know. I think it
But
was the wine. I was
for
pretty
the
heavy drink.
most for the most part, it's usually the photo is pretty heavily photoshopped. Like even the most casual picture is crazy Photoshop. Man, I got a sister, man. You know, and I'm sure she wouldn't want me saying this, but she has like a homegirl that like she just sent all her pictures to. And that's in her friend group, that's the homegirl's thing. Like she edits all the pictures for them to
What?
post. Like like she's like the Photoshop wizard. Like so no man, this is girls are listening right now. Like this is where what I'm saying sounds surprising to you, but like nah, girls are like, yeah, shit. He knows like
You don't have a plug? Dude, that's
no
crazy.
man, every girl. Almost every girl. Because
No,
I don't know.
now-
You see how a lot of girls are with like pictures, right? Like sometimes a girl will take, I see my sister take like the same selfie in the same position
Yeah.
40 different times and the picture's not good enough. And somehow
man.
like the next one, even though it's the same pose and the same lighting, is gonna be the right one. I don't know. So I don't know how it works for girls, but yeah, for sure, they're definitely doing some wizardry. I have definitely, and that's what I was gonna bring up. I definitely have been in that situation where I met a girl who literally she had green eyes. She literally had green eyes in her fucking Tinder pictures,
Yeah.
and then enough candid looking pictures for me to be like, yo, there's no way this is Photoshop. It's candid. And I met this girl, and she had brown eyes. And I'm like, what the fuck?
You're like, why? That's such an unnecessary thing to do. Does she look like her photos though? Besides the eyes?
No, man.
Oh.
Besides that, yeah, that's the one thing. That's the one thing I'll bring up. I don't want to sound like an asshole bringing up the rest. But yeah, she's not like anything like her photos. Anything like her photos, bro. Anything.
This needs to stop. This needs to end. All right? No more Photoshop. Ladies,
I still went on
over.
the date though. That being said, I saw her I remember when I went for a movie. I saw her from the distance. I knew it was her, and I could have just been like, okay, fuck.
yeah, still be courteous and have a good time, but
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. I still was like courteous. It was still chilled. It was still cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely just a huge disappointment when that's the case.
yeah, dude.
And
Oh man. Yeah. Just having all these memories of all these things I've done. I'm an idiot. Anyways, yeah, I think that's as far as I should go.
Gentlemen, just be careful, man. Like, careful with these thirst traps, man. Careful with these girls who crazy editing these pictures, man.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But if you do end up going, be a gentleman.
What would you tell a girl did you bring it up with her? Did
No.
you say like, hey, so yeah, of course not. Yeah, right. I didn't either. Like, of course not. But I mean, I feel like she must have known. Right? She must have
Man.
known. She must have known what you're doing.
Dude, it was the worst. It was so bad. She kept trying to kiss too, and I was like, enough. But yeah, man, that was a dumb thing on my part. But no, there's been some good experiences. I feel like I don't know. I once went on this. I went on this date with this one girl, and then I ended up dating her for like 6 months. And she was a really cool
Tinder?
person. Off a Hinge.
Like off Tinder?
Yeah, it's called Hinge. It's like another dating app, and it's
Yeah, no, I've heard of that one.
it was actually really fun, and we
I don't think
actually
I've ever met a girl. Sorry, you were saying?
I'm just saying, like, it was a really nice experience to have. Obviously, it didn't work out, but I don't think it was meant to work out from the start. I think both of our intentions may have been off, but yeah, there's some good that can come out of it. I know some people that are getting married now because they met off that shit.
Honestly, man, again, like I literally hopped on Tinder like I think like the first year it was made, like I think. You know, so I was there with the sole purpose, like of just
You were there when it was
just
good.
being yeah. Not even I was what would later on become the bad reputation. Like, yo, guys, they're only trying to hook up. You know, I was. I feel like I was that first group of guys. They're like, I'm not even trying to get
That's the reality.
But yeah. Yeah, fuck Tinder, man.
I'm still
I was just
using
gonna
it.
say something about the app. Yeah, people are getting married off Tinder and Hinge and all these apps these days. But yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, I remember, like, I'm not even gonna say that because I know guys who use the app, and I know that their intention is not to find a girlfriend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, that's always at the back there, man. That's always going to be a thing. I think that's the issue. Is like, girls would like to believe it's a dating app, but the majority of guys don't use it as a dating app.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? But I mean, if relationships can come from it, then by all means, I'm for it. I don't know. Maybe it's me as well. Like, I've never been in a situation from Tinder where I was like, where I approached it in a way where it could have turned into a relationship. You know what I mean?
Yeah. To be honest, man, that's never been my intention when I go on these dates. And that's just the cold hard facts. And I'm sorry to all if there's women listeners. When I was on the app, that was my MO. And I literally, yeah. There's been a few times where I've went on a few dates with these girls and I'm like, oh, I can see myself actually like going steady with this girl. And then it doesn't work out or something, like something happens where it just doesn't work out. But yeah, it's interesting.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Do you think that it's going to become a norm over the course of the next 10 years where like you're going to be attending a wedding and, you know, the groom is going to stand up to give a toast and basically in his long romantic speech is going to talk about how they met on Tinder?
Man.
You think that's going to become normal?
I think so. I think there'll probably just be more sites that like, because I do see it happen often now. Like honestly, like a lot of people just.
It's not the first time I've heard it recently, like as well. I mean, you always see the ads on TV, but I've definitely heard people I know who said like, "Yo, I met my partner on this thing, and we're going pretty steady." You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I don't know. See, in this fucking post-pandemic world, like you're most likely gonna meet your significant other online. As weird as that sounds, like.
Yeah, dude. Fuck.
But yeah. Yeah, man, that's crazy, and that's fucking sad at the same time.
Yeah.
It's just that we're gonna have to meet people online. But yeah. All right. So, worst Tinder experiences. That was a good conversation.
It was, yes. It's fun.
So on to our artist motivation. I had a thought in my head prior to this, but I've lost the thought now. I don't know. I guess just like it just being 2021, right? Like a new year. That was where I was gonna go with this. Yeah, like it just being a new year, you know. So new year, new resolutions. You know, just a new time to reset those goals. And obviously from an artist perspective, right? I feel like as an artist myself, there were a lot of things I was trying to accomplish in 2020 that, well, for one, the pandemic did not let me accomplish, and just overall adapting. I just had to accept that some of those things were not going to happen in 2020. But 2021 is a new year for me to reset. Me to reset these goals. We're now living in a post-pandemic world or still pandemic world, so it's still about me trying to get the things I want to get done, but maneuvering through the pandemic
Right.
to get things done. So I guess this is just a call to all artists to, everyone always makes New Year's resolutions, but I guess have resolutions for your artistic career as well. I see this being a good year for us, man. I feel like it's it's starting out pretty good. Hopefully we get those fucking vaccines soon.
Word.
And then then we can do shows. I feel like shows are gonna go crazy, man. Like once we can do shows again, because man, like a lot of the main bars in the city have like shut down, like Commonwealth, like bars and restaurants aren't even open right now. Like so, basically when everything is lifted and people can go out and club again, like where are people gonna go?
Right.
To underground hip hop shows. That's how I see it. Like we will be doing the only thing that you can do if you want to go out late.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So
feel like
that's what it's about.
we're gonna get probably like hundreds, I'd say, of people.
I believe that as well, man.
Yeah.
I believe that because people want to go out. People want to go out, want to go attend these shows,
Yeah. Why not watch the rap?
and it just, yeah. I think that's just the way to do it. Like once the thing gets lifted, I wouldn't even say I don't even know how it's gonna work, man. Because I think the lockdown is gonna get lifted, but we're still gonna have restrictions. I don't think life is gonna return to normal until everyone gets the vaccine. Like, I don't think we're gonna have. I think like Lupe Fiasco like tweeted like, "Yo, you wouldn't be allowed to come to a show of mine unless you can prove that you had the vaccine." You know what I mean? I think that's what it's gonna be with a lot of businesses when the vaccine becomes public, and then until everyone has it, things will not be normal. They will be semi-normal. But I kind of got sidetracked there. This was about motivating artists, and I guess it still is. It still is because I just like for me as well. Like I'm just seeing the silver lining. We will be able to. There's no doubt in my mind that we will be able to sell more tickets than we've ever been able to sell. Because once we're able to do shows, that would mean that people can go out. People can come out. People can go attend these things. People are gonna be like, oh shit, this is something going on in my city. This going to literally like there's nothing else you can do other than go to like there's no clubs anymore. The clubs are gonna take a while to open back up. So yeah, that's just silver lining for the artist, right? There is like a ray of light at the end of this tunnel, that is the pandemic. But with that being said, the motivation here is that it is a new year, 2021. 365 days to just fucking kill shit, to accomplish the things that you were not able to accomplish in 2020 and to set new goals for yourself to accomplish.
Absolutely.
So yeah. And now on to our conclusion.
Word.
So that was Just Kicking It, episode 28.
Yeah.
First episode of 2021. Thank you guys for listening.
Sorry.
Yeah, word. I'm just thinking about something here. I was like, yo, at the end of the year, if we do 52 episodes this year, will we be at 100? No, we'll just be at like 80 something, but that'd still be dope.
Yeah.
Maybe mid next year would be around when we hit 100. That'd be dope. So yeah, here's to keep going until we hit 100, and then some more after that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening. You can find me on Instagram at Poliano_DA Don_Don. And what about you, Soy?
You can find me at The Only True Soy on Instagram.
Yeah. Don't forget to follow us, the Lifted Ones Collective on Instagram. That's lifted_ones. And follow the hip hop blog. That's YYC Hip Hop Daily. Yeah, I got an album coming soon. So check me out. under Polo Show, under artists. And stay tuned. Anything you want to plug, Soy?
Nope. I think I'm good right now.
Cool. Till next week, guys. Peace.
Peace out.